I know a number of you have been praying for us in leadership, in guidance and direction, and so just kind of want to show you what's been happening around the program before we kind of go into the message. Mission Aviation Training Academy is located on one of the best run airports in the country, Arlington Airport. Well, it used to be an old Navy. They call it Naval Air Station Arlington, so it was NASA. Not quite. We have an 11,000 square foot hangar. We own 6 aircraft. We have a primary aircraft, 2-seat aircraft, a Cessna 150. We started everybody out in that. We moved to a Cessna 172 for instrument training. That's learning how to fly in the clouds. I have 2 pictures here. We just acquired a third one 2 days ago. This is Cessna 182RG. It's for our commercial and flight instructor licenses. And we have the Cessna 206, our 6-seat aircraft for bush operations and serving up in Alaska. This is our FAA-approved aviation device called the Basic Aviation Device, $16,000 of Basic. This is our latest addition. It's a Redbird FMX full motion simulator. They call it an advanced aviation training device. We had to get into the 6 figures for that. That was donated just about 2.5 weeks ago. We offer flight training, and specifically we offer fixed wing, single and multi-engine land airplane. We don't do helicopters. We have connections with float planes and stuff, but this is what we're doing. All right. Some of you have asked, so I'm going to break it down. The private certificate, the first one you can go for is you can do for a minimum of 40 hours. We usually say it's going to take 50 hours. It's about $6,000. Instrument rating, learning how to fly in the clouds, about $8,000, and the commercial certificate is about $15,000. So we can do the training, all of it, for right around $30,000. To give you an idea, that's a third the cost of what you would do to go to a university. The time it takes to train somebody up, these are like our most optimum, like you are the brightest person on earth. Not really. No, on average, if we stick with the plan, we can do the first one in 8 to 10 weeks. The instrument rating we can do in about 12 weeks. And the commercial, that really comes down to how much you can get to that 200, or how fast you can get to that 250-hour mark. Okay? Why does that make any difference? You need between 400 to 500 hours of flight time just to apply to a missionary aviation program at an average of about $150 an hour. Okay. The time invested in this is massive. The airframe and power plant certificate, you need that. You have to have a license to work on aircraft and Bible training. META also offers the high performance, complex, tail wheel, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we can do to tailor that training need. META stresses debt-free training. We don't take credit cards. We want the people to work for the money because the number one reason why missionaries do not go to the field is debt. META operates debt-free to do that. Just to give you an idea how important missionary aviation is, break it down in a few steps here. 1 minute of flight saves on average 1 hour of travel by foot or boat. Now take this into perspective. 1/6 of the world population does not have access to a road. That's 1 billion people. So if 1 billion people are walking, and our theme tonight is redeeming the time. If 1 billion people are walking to where they need to go, or vice versa, if we have a few missionaries walking or taking a boat to where they need to go to reach the people, it's not very effective use of the time. 10 hours of flying saves on average 25 days of walking or boating. We're going to break this down a little bit more. 100 hours of flying saves 250 days, of foot travel. 500 hours of flying saves 1,250 days, almost 3.5 years. Gordon, our executive director, has over 7,000 hours, 5,500 hours in ministry. How many years did he save? Okay. Now that's exponential because we can load more than one person in an airplane. Okay, if you're a missionary and you've dedicated 20 years of your life to ministry, how much did you just save walking? All right. I'm going to show you how complex aviation is in our modern world. Called NATS, they're an English air traffic control company. I want to talk about three major missions or categories that mission aviation specifically is meeting. We're going to talk about sustained humanitarian work, emergency relief, and then my favorite, world evangelism. Okay? So in humanitarian, how does aviation meet the need for that? How do missionary pilots meet the need? We're in medical work, we're in community building, and we're in, what do they call that? Nation building. You can see here, if in the military we had a thing, the first 5 minutes. If somebody gets injured, you have 5 minutes to save their life. Okay? That's really not any different than anybody else's emergency. 5 minutes to save their life. Once they're stabilized, they have about a 3-hour window to get them to a hospital before they have problems, okay? Infections and other stuff setting in. When you're in a third world country, and it's going to take you an hour to walk to the hospital, you're really, really happy there's an aviation asset on the ground waiting for you. This is where missionaries are able to do the practical work of the Lord by providing this to people that don't have any money, that couldn't afford this otherwise, okay? Another thing we do, this gentleman here in the black is a provincial governor, and he could not get out to see what had happened to his community after a disaster, and Mission Aviation had picked him up and give him the tour. If he did have aviation assets in the country, he didn't trust them. I wonder why. Yeah, usually third world countries don't maintain things the best.